Hey guys, I hope you're doing well today. I'm sorry I haven't had a riding video up in a while. I know I've just been doing kind of like random type of videos, but I want to get a riding video up soon. I just haven't been riding a whole lot lately, or when I do, it's usually at night when it's dark out because I do have ring lights, which is nice, but I haven't been able to get clips during the day, and I'd prefer to get those types of riding video clips. And the weather just hasn't been great either, and I also just haven't had people to really video me lately. I'm hoping I'm able to get a riding video up for you soon, but this video is going to be a little bit different. This is kind of a clickbaity title because this isn't actually my first year of horse ownership. I actually owned Sassy 6 years ago, and then I hadn't had a horse in 6 years, and I also owned horses for about 4 to 5 years while I was a teenager in high school. So I definitely have some horse ownership experience, but it's been a very long time since I have, and things have definitely changed since then. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of go through the things that I've learned in the last year. And some of the things I should have known when I was younger, but I didn't always have like a good mentor around me, but I've had some really great people in the last year help me out a lot and teach me things. I've also been watching a ton of horse YouTube. My favorite horse YouTubers are Shelby Dennis, Holly Lenahan. I also love day-by-day vlogs. They just are so much fun to watch. I love Elphick event ponies, and I'll link them all down below so you can check out their channels. I do like other smaller horse YouTubers as well, but those are the ones that I watch the most. I think the ones I've learned the most from are Shelby Dennis and Holly. I started watching them pretty much immediately when I started my horse YouTube channel in February last year. So this one is specifically from Shelby that I've learned and just kind of adapted myself, and this is bidding up isn't always the answer. There's definitely situations where bidding up can help you. I definitely think the goal should be to move towards a softer bit. When I got Sassy in December 2018, she was in a Kimberwick with a low port mouthpiece, I believe. It was like a straight across with a tiny little port on it. And it did work fine with her. It did help her stop rushing sometimes, but didn't always work. Sassy's gonna be one of those horses that always rushes. I just have to be really quiet with her. And even then, she'll still kind of fly through with the canter. I'm definitely working on that, but she's 22 years old. I don't think that's gonna really change, but I'm gonna try my best to. She was in a Kimberwick for probably about 4 or 5 months, and then I got a slow twist D-ring snaffle, and that one did work fairly well for her as well. Then I moved down to a loose ring snaffle. It was a single joint with pretty thick rubber. That's what you guys would see in probably most of my videos in like the fall time. And I did really like that for Sassy because it did help her kind of go in the bit a little bit more. It allowed her to stretch down. She does hang on it a lot, so sometimes she can be really strong with it. I bought her a D-ring with a copper roller multi-jointed mouthpiece, and I'm excited to try that on her. I did try another multi-jointed mouthpiece, and it did work really well for her. So I do think that bidding up can work sometimes, but most of the time I feel like you should try to work down to a softer bit. The second thing that I learned in the last year and realized is that flatwork is actually so much fun, and I love watching dressage videos now and learning more dressage tips. And Sassy is one of those horses that has gone around hollow her entire life. Like, she's 22 and just starting to learn how to stretch down, use herself a little bit better, come on the bit. Sometimes she's not very consistent because, again, she's been hollow her entire life when flatting, and she can be a very strong horse and with a strong mouth, so I get tired a lot of the time with her, but she's come such a long way, even in the last just couple months. It has been such a nice feeling to have her use herself better. It's just been really nice to actually have her make progress in her flat work. We really haven't jumped the past 3 or 4 months. I haven't really jumped her since my jumper show. Not really any particular reason. I did want to work on her flat work, but I have to set my jumps out myself in my ring, so I kind of get lazy a lot of the time. But we have jumped twice since then, and it's just been little Cavelettis, and I like Cavelettis. I think they're a lot of fun, and Sassy does too. But flatwork has just been a lot of fun to do lately. The third thing that I learned is that chiropractors and massage therapists for horses actually work wonders, and I never used either of those when I was a horse owner years ago, but I got Sassy's first chiropractic treatment in February, and she just seemed to feel so much better, and I got it 3 times. My chiropractor can be kind of hard to get a hold of, so I kind of just do it whenever she's in our area, and I recently got her massage done. It was the week before Christmas by one of my friends who does massage therapy for horses. Sassy's an older horse, so she can be a bit stiff, but the massage, I think, made her feel so much better, and I definitely want to get massages for her more, probably more often than chiropractor, just because my massage therapist is easier to get a hold of, but I'm very happy I did those for Sassy this year. Number 4 kind of goes with the whole thing with like bidding up wasn't always the answer, is that more gadgets and more types of tack isn't always the best answer either. I did have Sassy in a standing martingale. I also tried a flash noseband, and I just feel like I don't need those things for Sassy. I do need a running martingale for her because we do compete in jumpers sometimes, not very often, but I would like to compete her more. So I have a running martingale, and I don't use it on her very often. I will be using it more when I jump more. I'm hoping to jump around 1 to 2 times a week once the weather clears up, but I don't think more tack is really the answer. I think Flatwork is really helpful and just staying quiet with your aids, and I've been trying my best to do that, and I've actually gotten pretty good responses out of Sassy. Number 5. Getting a saddle fitter is so important for getting a correct fitting saddle for your horse. I did have a saddle that I owned for Sassy years ago, and I don't remember if it even fit properly back then because I just didn't know a whole lot. So I've definitely learned so much in the last year, and I'm definitely trying to be better for my horse and horses in the future that I own. But I did get an independent saddle fitter for Sassy in November, and I have my newer saddle, which is still a used saddle, but it is a Bates Caprilli all-purpose saddle. It's so comfy. It has a 17.5-inch seat. And now when I get a new horse eventually, because I do plan on getting a second horse in the next probably 1 to 2 years, hopefully, I'm definitely going to be getting an independent saddle fitter out pretty much immediately when I get my horse. The 6th thing that I learned is that you'll always have an ongoing list of products that you want to buy, and also need to buy. I've gotten so many different creams and ointments and tack the last year. She has white hair on most of her body, and her skin is mostly pink, so she's very prone to getting scratches, rain rot, hives. So I did deal with a lot of that in the spring and summer, and I have all the ointments now that I need to treat those things, and I've definitely have like an ongoing list on my phone of products that I want to buy for Sassy, and also just future horses too. I feel like you can never have enough horsey products. Number 7 is that it's okay to change up your horse's diet if it makes your horse feel better, which I knew that anyway, but Sassy was on the same feed for probably about 8 years. She was on Purina Strategy, and in the summer I noticed she was getting hella fat, and I switched her over to Triple Crown Ration Balancer. So previously she was getting like a full scoop in the winter of the Strategy, and then bumped down to a half a scoop, and this was both twice a day of that Strategy, and then I switched her to Ration Balancer, which now she just gets a small cup twice a day. She also has some supplements. She gets bee pulp at night too, and she just seems to be keeping weight really nicely. So it's okay to change up your horse's diet if they've been on something for a long time, as long as you consult with knowledgeable people and you know that you're doing the best for your horse. Number 8 is that bad behavior can either mean that they're just having fun, and also that could be pain somewhere. So you kind of have to figure out and know your horse. But there was a time in, I think, October where Sassy was not wanting to move at all. I was trying to give a mini lesson on her to my mom, who is a beginner, and then my sister, who is also a beginner but just knows how to walk trot. And Sassy was very reluctant to move that day. And normally she can be a little bit lazy to get moving, but she was like planting her feet, pawing, and then I hopped on her, and then she was a little bit better, but then we stopped, and then I tried to get her to go again, and she did not want to move, and she was just very shaky and uncomfortable. So I got off of her, lunged her, and she started bucking and going crazy on the lunge line. So I realized that she had a mild gas colic, and I gave her some Banamine, and then I also checked the saddle a few weeks later, and I realized my saddle was pinching her too, hence the saddle fitter. So bad behavior like bucking, rearing, and other types of like vices or bad behavior, it doesn't always mean that they're just trying to be bad. Horses don't really try to be bad. I think they either just try to play or they're showing pain somewhere. If they are exhibiting bad behavior, I would definitely look into it, try to research a little bit. Number 9 is that half pads aren't always beneficial. I thought it was just best to ride with a half pad because it gave extra cushioning, which is true. I didn't realize how much it affects saddle fit until I got my saddle fitter out, and I knew to an extent because I was researching before I got her out, and then I just didn't even realize how bad it could be sometimes. So I definitely learned that within the last few months, and I'm going to be selling one of my half pads, probably both of them, because I just don't need them for my saddle that fits correctly now, which is nice. Half pads can make the saddle fit a lot worse, so I'd prefer to just not use one, especially because my saddle fits properly now. I've definitely learned other things in the last year, but this is my last one I have for this video, and this is that clipping your horse is actually very nice sometimes. Sassy, like I said, is very sensitive skin, and she's prone to getting some skin infections, so I did clip her recently in October. I wish I got more use out of her clip because I did figure out my saddle didn't fit, so I really didn't ride much while her clip was fresh, but I've really enjoyed having her clipped because one, she's shedding less, which is nice because I have dark winter clothes for the barn and she has white hair. So last winter I had little white hairs all over me constantly, and I still do sometimes, but definitely not to the extent that I had last year. And I'm also excited for like the spring because her hair still won't be as thick, and I will probably clip her again, but she got scratches pretty bad in the spring last year, and the rain rot didn't come until summer. Having a clipped horse means that their hair can dry faster and their legs dry faster, and they're less likely to hold bacteria and wetness. So I'm very happy to have Sassy clipped, and I will likely clip her again in the spring, or at least just clip her legs because I don't want to deal with scratches again, hopefully. So those are 10 things I learned in the last year of being a horse owner again. I'm so thankful to have Sassy again. She's been such a joy to have in the last year. I'm excited to see what the next year brings with both of us, and I'm hoping to see where my sister progresses with her because my sister's learning to ride on her too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I also have a beauty channel if you want to check it out. It is called Courtney K, and I will link it down below if you're interested. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Talk to you later. Bye.